So let me tell you this. You had mentioned about the mom haunting them when they ripped the balloon, the mom was going to haunt them. And so I wanted to tell you that they actually intended to model this film after a haunted house movie, allowing the audience to initially suspect that the children's deceased mother, Laura, may be in fact haunting the home. I didn't get that. I got that the dad, her weird cult leader dad, was haunting the home. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
okay.
I got the energy of what you were just saying about how the mom was going to play this intense role. But as far as the house, but I mean, I know the snow angels in the front yard when she looks out, but that made me think maybe the kids did it. But then there
I
was a lot
thought,
of snow angels. But I
yeah,
thought it was
that
the dad that was trying to take her over. The the
okay.
the cult dad.
I read it as the dad thing was happening for her. Like it wasn't haunted necessarily, but she was having like mental, instability. So it was like haunting her in a way, but it wasn't, you know what I mean? It
Oh,
was it was just for her. It wasn't. That's what I thought in the moment. And I did think it is the mom because like when they wake up and all the holiday decorations are gone, I thought, "Oh, she's pissed. Like she doesn't
oh,
want this family
that's
to
so good.
you know what I mean? So like, there just were like moments, and I think they did this really well with Goodnight Mommy. This is the thing that I really loved is that you watch that movie through you can watch that movie through two different lenses, and either one can be, you can just get on board with either. And I do think they kind of do this with this movie also to more degrees, not necessarily viewpoints, but like you could watch this whole or big sections of this movie I should say and think that way different things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, are the kids sitting up and messing with her? Are they being haunted? Are they being haunted by the dad instead? Or are they in purgatory? Like you really don't know. um and I liked that about it. But
Yeah. They were inspired specifically by Alfred Hitchcock's Rebecca, which is a woman comes to believe her home is haunted by her husband's deceased wife. So that was a
okay.
an inspiration. Something interesting: the to establish chemistry between the two kids, Martel and McHugh, portraying siblings. Directors Franz and Fiala took them on several excursions, including rock climbing and ice skating, to help them build a bond before filming began. On the flip side, Kyo, who plays Grace, was kept separate from the children pre-filming, so to maintain distance for their on-screen dynamic. I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
The whole movie was shot chronologically because the woman who plays Grace was worried that in order to help her keep walking down this path of losing her mind, that if it was shot out of sequence, it wouldn't be as believable, or she wouldn't be able to do as good of a job.
Yeah, I get that. That would be very hard to jump around.
Yeah.
We've talked about that a lot in a lot of different movies. It's like people do it different ways, and I bet it would be hard to bounce back and forth between, oh, I totally lost it, just beginning to lose it, you know?
Yeah, where am I again? Like, what movie did we watch when they said, oh, it was Halloween, where they had the scale of, so Jamie Lee Curtis knew, am I a level 10 scared or am I a level
Right.
5 scared? Yeah. Yeah, that's all I had. Oh, I had a couple more reviews. So this one guy, Dennis Harvey of Variety, says that he thought that the genre homage does not appear in the film, so it doesn't really give that horror genre vibe, but the film certainly at its best in fostering a sense of stylish dread and orchestrating a harrowing individual sequences. And then Jeanette from the New York Times says that the film's atmosphere was so wintry in tone and setting that no movie theater thermostat could banish its chill, but which I thought they did a great job of that,
Yeah.
ultimately felt that despite its visual flair and unrelenting taut atmosphere, the lodge is more successful in sustaining unease than building a convincing narrative. There were times where I felt there was a lot going on, like you had mentioned with what movie did you mention? There was, you wished that they had streamlined
Veronica.
Veronica. Yeah. I mean, they did come together, I don't know. I think there was enough disjoint for me that made me, feel the way I feel.
Yeah.
They deliberately chose not to frame shots at eye level, instead opting for angles positioned from above or below the actors.
I did notice that, and that shit drives me crazy. And like, I did start to feel like, oh my god, if they keep doing this, I swear, like, but for some reason it didn't bug me as much as it did in a Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark specifically. Like that
Yeah,
movie,
that was.
all of it is shot up their nose, and this movie I do feel like even though maybe some of it isn't eye level, like I didn't bother me as much. There was just one scene that I was like, okay, like I want to look at somebody's face now. And maybe the difference was that it wasn't so at an angle. Like I just feel like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark was so obnoxious because it was like this. Like it was like I just got to see a quarter of people's face the entire time. At least this movie you get to see their faces, you
Yeah.
know?
Gosh, the beginning did a really good job of that too when she was getting in the car. I was like, are we never going to see
Yes.
her face? That was cool. I did like how you couldn't see her. Again, this is almost bookended for me, just like the other movie we just watched,
Yeah.
Little Monsters, where I've had really good feelings about it in the beginning. And then the end was like, that was good. So
It was all right.
that was cool.
Why in the fuck did they insist on having the coldest Thanksgiving meal outside? Do you remember this? I was like,
Yeah,
what are they doing? I was like, just go inside.
I do remember that. I don't know why. Like I get that it's a tradition, but they've lived it's like the mom lived in the same town. It's like they lived there forever. So
Yeah.
why are they doing this freezing cold Thanksgiving outside? I thought the same thing.
Anyway, that's totally random, but that
Yeah.
was like the one. I didn't even take notes because I got so engrossed in the movie, but that was the one thing in my head that I was like, what is happening?
I wanted to mention because it wasn't mentioned in your recap, the moment I knew that they had planned this whole thing was when the dad saw the dollhouse and
Yeah.
the whole thing was staged in the dollhouse. So yeah, that's when I thought, oh, they planned this. But
Even that, I was like, I, I mean, I'll be honest, I was like, why is the dollhouse? Why is it like that? I was like, I just wanted so bad for the mom to haunt them. That's really what it was, that I was like, it is her. She's doing it. She's controlling the dolls from the different house, and it's like she's making them. It took me a little bit too long to be like, oh, they planned it. They planned it, and it was
you know
there.
what would have been better, Tawny? Exactly what you said. If the mom haunted and drove that woman crazy, even with the ending, if the girl ended up killing the dad and doing all this murdering because she went crazy, but the mom drove her crazy, I would have liked that more than the kids turned into these despicable little bastards. They really
Yeah.
went over the top evil level. That would have been a way better story.
Yeah, it's also like their commitment to this did get to the point where it felt way too much, right? Like it was like, I get
Yeah.
it, you hate her, you don't want to, you want to drive her crazy or do whatever, but now you're stuck in a house with no power or food. Don't like that would be the point in which you'd be like, are we gonna die out here trying to like really stick it to this woman, or are we gonna fucking drop it?
You're 100% correct. It's not, you are at a different level of demented if you go on with it for that long. I get the beginning that you wanted to scare her. And at one point, as children, you would be terrified at the result. You'd be
Yeah.
scared you didn't have food. You'd be scared you didn't have cell service. You'd be scared that she's she just was gone for hours walking in the snow because she needs her pills, and then she comes into the house all frozen, and you know what I mean. There would be a point as a normal child, even if you were trying to get revenge, that you'd be like, oh shit, the jig is
This
up.
has gone too
Not
far.
the
Yeah.
dog is frozen and she won't come in and she's sitting outside, she has frostbite. That's like way next level.
Yeah, wouldn't you? I mean, this is just me, but I guess. But I think this is most kids. You would be terrified you'd be in trouble. You'd be like, shit, they're gonna arrest us. I don't know. Like, we're going to jail. What for? I don't know, but we're gonna be in some serious trouble. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.